Hi everyone, this is Ruchi Kulkarni and today we are going to do the poem Animals from your book First Flight of Class 10th, and this poem is written by Walt Whitman. The poem Animals is from Walt Whitman's work Song of Myself in his book Leaves of Grass. In this poem, he admires animals for being better than human beings. The comparison shown by him between animals and human beings highlight the fact that animals never think ill of others. They are free of sins and sorrows, and therefore he feels that someday he would like to turn to the animal kingdom rather than staying with humans. So in today's session, we will read and understand this poem along with its poetic devices and rhyme scheme. After that, we will do significance of the title of the poem, the moral given by it, summary, and question answers. So let's begin this session today, but first, let's know something about Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was born on May 31st in 1819 in West Hills, New York. He was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. In 1836, at the age of 17, he began his career as teacher in the one-room schoolhouses of Long Island. He continued to teach until 1841, when he turned to journalism as a full-time career. He founded a weekly newspaper, The Long Islander, and later edited a number of Brooklyn and New York papers, including the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. Along with Emily Dickinson, he is considered one of the America's most important poets. Some of his notable works are Calamus, Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, Democratic Vistas, O Captain, My Captain, Out of the Cradle, Endlessly Rocking, and many more. He received Hall of Fame in 1930 for his outstanding work. He died on March 26, 1892 in Camden, New Jersey, US at the age of 72. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me, and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. In this entire poem, I means poet. He is the narrator of this poem. So in this line, the poet wants to say that he thinks that someday he should turn away from the human world. Right now he is living in the human world and he wants to go to animal world. So someday he should be able to turn away from this human world and live with the animals. He can go to the jungle and live with them. Why? Because they are so placid. Placid means calm or peaceful, and self-contained. Self-contained means one who can keep up the control or who are satisfied with whatever they have. So here the poet wants to say that someday he should be able to turn from the human world and be able to live with animals, because the animals are so peaceful, they are calm, they are under control, and they are always satisfied with whatever they have. I stand and look at them long and long. The poet is so enchanted by the animals that he wants to just stand there and look at those animals for a long, long time. He does not want to move away from animals. He just wants to stand there and look at them continuously and praise or appreciate the qualities that the animals have. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Here, they means animals. The poet here wants to say that the animals do not sweat and whine. Here, sweat and whine means making complaints or complaining about something. Now, here, sweat and whine is a metaphor because this is compared to the complaining nature of human beings. But when the animals are considered, they do not complain about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Sins means wrongdoings. Now, human beings have this nature that they very easily get depressed. They think about their wrongdoings. They think about what evil things they did, what wrong they did to others, and they will sit in the dark and weep. They will cry about it. But animals don't do that. They have no depression. They have no sadness. They just live their life peacefully. They do not make me sick, discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Now, here the poet wants to tell about the animals that they do not make him sick. They do not discuss about their duty to God. They do not discuss about what religion to follow, what rituals to do, or where to believe. They have no specific duty towards God, and they do not want to boast like humans do. Many times humans tell about their good deeds done in the name of God, but animals don't do that. So when animals don't do that, it does not make the poet sick. It does not make the poet feel bored. The poet also says that not one of these animals is dissatisfied, means not satisfied at all. They are completely satisfied with whatever they have. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Demented means getting mad or disturbed, and mania means craziness. So none of the animals is ever mad or disturbed with owning things. They are never crazy about owning or possessing something, but human beings are. Animals are always satisfied with what they have. They have no cravings, they have no wishes. They do not dream of owning a big car or a big house or a nice job or a 7-figure salary or something like that. So animals are never greedy. They are not disturbed with the craziness of possessing things just as human beings do. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Now here the poet wants to say that there is no hierarchy in animal world. In their world, there is no one superior and no one junior. Not like what we have in human world. So he says that he has never seen any animal showing his devotion to another animal by bowing down in front of him. But this usually happens in the human world. Animals never do so even for their ancestors. Ancestors are people who have passed away. No one has seen animals bowing down or praying for their fathers or grandfathers or great grandfathers and so on. So they do not show devotion towards God like humans do. And in their world, no one is more respectable or important as we have in human society. In human beings, rich people are generally given more importance and are treated with more respect as compared to the poor. but in the society of animals, they never do so. So ultimately, what happens is these animals are never unhappy. Over the whole earth, you will never find an unhappy animal just because he has to bow down in front of another animal or give more respect to another animal. But in human world, the bias or prejudice on the basis of caste, creed, religion, race, everything is so evident. The poet does not want to live in the human world just for this reason, and he feels that animals are better behaved than humans. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself, they evince them plainly in their possession. The poet here wants to say that these animals show their relations very openly. They are very honest with the relations. They are not like humans who show that they have nice and friendly relations with others, though the reality is just opposite. And because of this nature of animals, that they are so honest in their relations, the poet accepts them so easily. On the other hand, he is not able to accept the dishonesty in the human heart. So these animals bring to the poet tokens of myself. Now here tokens means qualities. This is a metaphor wherein a comparison between the human good qualities is made with the tokens. The poet feels that these animals are bringing to him qualities of what he has already inside him. The human-like quality of being loyal, of being happy, of being satisfied, which is all covered with greed, dishonesty, disloyalty. These animals are showing the poet what the good qualities are. So they are bringing those good qualities back to him. They are also showing, evince means to show, plainly in their possession. In other words, they are also showing the poet that the actual possession or the actual ownership of a human being is his good qualities, which will be with him until death. But what happens exactly is that the human beings run after money, house, job, car, everything else. He runs after material things, and in that running after that greed, he forgets his good qualities which are already there in his heart, and he has forgotten completely about them. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? Negligently drop them means dropped all those good qualities to them carelessly, or passed on the good qualities to them. Now here the poet at last introspects himself, and he says that from where the animals got those good qualities, he doesn't understand. And then he questions himself that where his own good qualities are gone. So now we can compare that human beings do not have those good qualities. On the other hand, the animals have. So he feels that did he leave all those good qualities carelessly somewhere, or has he lost them somewhere, or has he passed on those good qualities to animals long time ago? But he wonders that humans gave up these qualities and they have passed on to the animals. Now what about the humans? After this brief explanation, let's now move on to poetic devices and rhyme scheme of this poem. The first poetic device is alliteration, which means repetition of initial consonant sounds in two consecutive words. There are three examples of alliteration in the poem. Make me, where m sound is repeated. Discussing their duty, where the sound is repeated. And they get those, where the sound is repeated. The next poetic device is anaphora, which is the repetition of beginning words in two consecutive lines. There are two examples of anaphora here. The phrase they do not is repeated in three consecutive lines, whereas the phrase not one is repeated in the next three consecutive lines. Therefore, These are the examples of anaphora found in this poem. The next poetic device is repetition. Repetition happens because of the repetition of a word or phrase in the same line. One example here in this poem is long. The word long is repeated in the line, I stand and look at them long and long. Thus, it shows repetition. Next, we move on to the poetic device metaphor. Metaphor is a comparison made between two things or ideas which are completely different. The phrase sweat and wine refer to the cries and complaints of human beings. So here there is a comparison made between sweat and wine and the complaints of the human beings and how they cry due to the ill conditions. The next example is tokens. With the word token, a comparison is made between the tokens and the inner qualities of human beings. Last but not the least, let's come to rhyme scheme. This poem has no rhyme scheme. There are no rhyming words at the end of each line. Therefore, this poem is a free verse. Since it does not create a rhyming pattern at the end of each line, it is a free verse. Now let's talk about the significance of the title of this poem. This poem is titled Animals because it talks about the good innate qualities of animals. Moreover, the poet even compares humans and animals in terms of their qualities and wishes to be a part of the animal world rather than human world because animals show kindness, loyalty, true relations, and they do not boast about their good deeds. Thus, this title Animals is very apt for this poem. This poem tells us that humans have lost innocence, fraternity, and peace. They always commit sins, have greed for worldly things, and also discriminate on the basis of class, religion, caste, color, etc. But on the other hand, animals have retained those good qualities. They are satisfied with their condition. So the message that we get here is that we should learn and adopt good qualities of animals. We should learn to be calm, kind, loyal, truthful, and self-contained. We should just concentrate on what good we can do to others rather than boasting what we have done. That's all in today's session, and before we wrap up, let's head towards summary and question answers. I'll see you again in my next video with a new topic. Till then, take good care of yourself and take care of the animals as well. Bye, thank you, and best wishes.